Welcome to the Global Short News Summaries. The occupying Israeli army carried out more than 140 airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, where the genocide continues, in the last 24 hours.
Former Greek Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis. Greek Coast Guard rejected the Sumud fleet's request for assistance. The Greek government is violating international law by aiding and abetting Netanyahu's genocide project. We have become Israel's satellite.
Prime Minister of Pakistan Shehbaz Sharif. Palestine must be liberated from Israeli occupation immediately. The Palestinian people have been subjected to severe injustice for over 80 years. The war of annihilation against the people of Gaza continues, and history will not forgive us for what is happening there. Pakistan nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. He is truly a man of peace.
From Israeli media outlet Channel 13. When foreign diplomats began leaving the hall one by one immediately after Netanyahu's speech began, they spat not on Netanyahu's face, but on the face of the state of Israel.
Jerusalem brigades. We targeted an Israeli Merkava tank in the Sheikh-ridden neighborhood of Gaza with a tandem missile.
From the Greek media outlet Kathimerini. According to Greece, it will be difficult for Turkey to procure F-35s. The U.S. Congress is also not enthusiastic about selling F-35s to Ankara, regardless of Athens' concerns.
Iranian President Mehdi Pezeshkian. If unity is achieved among Muslims in the region, Israel will not dare to attack any state.
Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. I will personally cover the cost of demolishing the Al-Aqsa Mosque and building the temple we plan to construct in its place.
Cuban President Miguel Diaz. Palestine is suffering. Since there is nothing we can do, we suffer every day too. The weight of history will fall upon those who remain indifferent to what is happening there.
Trump. Intensive negotiations involving all countries in the region, with Hamas and Israel also informed, are ongoing regarding Gaza. There is unprecedented goodwill, and we will continue the process until we reach a successful agreement. Details of Trump's Gaza plan. Immediately end the war. Release all Israeli hostages. Release thousands of Palestinian prisoners, including those sentenced to 100 to 200 years in prison. The U.S. commitment not to allow Israel to annex the West Bank. Israel's gradual withdrawal from Gaza according to a timetable. Establishment of a Palestinian committee selected by the Palestinian Authority to manage Gaza affairs. After a certain period, the Palestinian Authority will take over the administration of Gaza. Hamas will have no role in the administration.
According to sources from the Israel Broadcasting Authority, U.S. Special Representative for the Middle East Steve Witkoff conveyed a message to Netanyahu yesterday that Trump wants the war in Gaza to end.
Sisi is a desire that aid from Egypt to Gaza be delivered by military force, thereby starting a war. I am responsible for the lives, safety, and security of the Egyptian people, and I will not take measures that affect these.
At least 33 Palestinians were killed, and many more were injured in attacks carried out by the Israeli army in different parts of the Gaza Strip in the early hours of the morning.
The UAE foreign minister met with Netanyahu in the U.S.
Oil flow resumed this morning at 7:07 from the Iraq-Turkey crude oil pipeline.
The Syrian government issued an arrest warrant for ousted leader Bashar al-Assad for crimes committed in the city of Deira in 2011.
Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova. Unlike the U.S., Russia has been in favor of researching and using atomic energy for peaceful purposes since the emergence of nuclear technologies. 80 years ago, the U.S. dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, literally wiping these two cities, where peaceful people lived, off the face of the earth.
Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. No justification can legitimize the mass killing of civilians in Palestine. Targeting children with bombs and starvation, destroying hospitals and schools cannot be justified. Israel's plans to annex the West Bank are indefensible.
President Erdoğan. The recognition of Palestine is an important step, albeit a late one. But we cannot help but ask this question. Couldn't Palestine have been defended without the deaths of 65,000 innocent people?
Amid 29 fighter jet was spotted flying low over Tehran.
Colombian President Gustavo Petro. It doesn't matter that the US revoked my visa, and I don't need it anyway. I truly see myself as a free person in this world. The genocide in Gaza is a crime against humanity. Those responsible must be held accountable, tried, and punished.
Israel-based Yedioth Ahronoth. Israel has decided to launch an investigation to identify countries that did not attend Netanyahu's speech at the UN General Assembly.
Hezbollah announced that it would not lay down its arms.
Our president invited U.S. President Trump to our country both for a bilateral visit and for the NATO summit to be held in Ankara next year. An agreement was reached for Turkish Airlines to purchase 75 wide-body and 150 narrow-body aircraft. Prior to the visit, the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources had also reached an agreement with the U.S. for long-term energy supply.
The 65th Mechanized Infantry Brigade Commando Battalion Command, assigned as the Turkish Armed Forces Kosovo Peacekeeping Force Operational Reserve Battalion, has deployed to Kosovo from the Korlu Air Base Command.
Ilham Ahmed, responsible for foreign relations for the terrorist organization PKK/YPG. We propose that YPG/SDG Commander Maslam Abdi or one of the leading officers become defense minister or chief of staff, and we are open to this, but we have not yet received a response from Damascus.
Hamas has agreed to hand over the administration of Gaza to a committee composed of non-political experts.
Syrian Foreign Minister Assad Shaybani. As we depart from New York today, we have once again demonstrated that our country is stronger on the international stage and more balanced in its diplomatic relations. Syria's sovereignty and vision for reconstruction were our priority in all discussions. We have taken important steps to strengthen relations and advance common interests.
Syrian sources. A large convoy consisting of tanks and armored vehicles belonging to the Turkish armed forces entered Aleppo/Kawari's airport.
In the last 24 hours, 17 martyrs and 9 wounded have been brought to hospitals. The total number of martyrs and wounded brought to hospitals has risen to 2,560 martyrs and over 18,703 wounded. In the last 24 hours, 77 martyrs and 265 wounded. Since October 7, 2023, the toll from the attacks has risen to 65,926 martyrs and 167,783 wounded.
A group from the Abu Shabaab gang, which collaborated with Israel in Gaza, surrendered to security forces last week after its members were executed by the resistance, and the public gave its full support to the resistance.
Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov confirmed that the U.S. and Russia have agreed to hold a third round of talks this fall.
Israel-backed Druze separatists held a military parade in Syria's Soweta province.
A train derailed in the Russian city of Smolensk and collided with a truck, causing 20 cars to catch fire.
UK Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy. Our message to Ukraine is clear. We will stand with you today, tomorrow, and 100 years from now.
Belgian Foreign Minister Maxime Prevot. I don't know what other atrocities need to happen in Gaza for us to be able to talk about genocide.
The Spanish government has dispatched a warship to protect the global Silmud fleet, which is on its way to deliver aid to Gaza.
U.S. Ambassador to Turkey and Special Representative for Syria Tom Barak. There is no such thing as the Middle East. There are only tribes and villages. The British and French created the states.